escape the justice my meaty clackers could provide. So I bought them a little unitard and found them a tiny cave. Then ran to the city's toughest gang and screamed there's no escape from the wrath of thunder and lightning. Just that fell from an angel's crown. Thunder and lightning. Round your jump, it'll take you down. Stones of war, tiny hammers of Thor. Thunder and lightning. One with the power to electrify, one with the strength to smash. First you hear that rumble, baby, and then you see the flash. My loins are filled like darkened clouds. Evil has no chance. All shall tremble before the storm that gathers in my pants. Turns out being struck by lightning doesn't give you any powers. They caved my head in with a pipe and beat me for several hours. But as I lay there half conscious, with my nuts exposed to air, I looked up to the blackened sky and said an ancient prayer. Lord, if you're there, please infuse my nuts with the power of 1,000 suns.
Holy shit, you're real?
Let there be thunder and lightning. Acorn shot from the tree of life. Thunder and lightning. High voltage nerves lighting up the night. Mighty balls gifted from Odin's house. Thunder and lightning.
Suck 'em!
Are we live? Yes, so we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to an exciting Friday stream, where today we're gonna hippity hop our asses into something somewhat on the newer side. That's right. Today, we are going to be hopping in and having a chill day in the sequel to the world's most popular Power Wash Simulator game, Power Wash Simulator 2. Where today we'll get in, start from the very beginning, get as far as we can, and be chillin' and yapping the whole time. But before we get into my horrid threat of yapping at you for hours on end, I have a simple question for all of y'all. How have your weeks been? How are your weekends shaping up to be? And most importantly, how are you all doing today? So good they made a second one. They did make a second one. And I actually checked out the demo for this game a couple of months ago. And I remember something happening during one of the demo cleanups that has me actually very excited, because I think the sequel is adding dynamic maps and I'm so fucking hyped for it. Ooh, I applied for a job that I'm pretty qualified for and pays like 30K more than my current job. Downside is I'd have to move back to Alaska if I get it. Damn, Richard, really? That's interesting. You're gonna have to tell me more about that at some point. Hell, my guy, are you free at all this weekend? Listen, we keep talking about maybe doing an escape room with you and Milkblade, and I'm still fucking down and hyped for that. You gotta let me know if there'd be a weekend or a time or a day or whatever that you'd be most interested in that. I slept through my classes and missed an in-class quiz. Sour, no. Sour, what are you doing to yourself that you're not getting enough sleep, my guy? Sour, no. Aside from that, I'm very tired. I 100% can imagine, Richard. Richard, did you ever reply to that job I sent you? What'd you think, Richard? What was it, like $200 to be a director of photography? Was the pay not enough, Richard? Are you too good to hop on last minute as a film crew needs a director of photography? Do you want me to keep sending you those as I encounter them, my guy? I wish the weekend was 3 days, not 2. Hey, if your job has days, sick days, PTO, anything like that, you can make the 3-day weekend that you deserve. Well, that was $150. Yeah, that's $150 you don't have, Richard. Come on. I charge that much hourly. Yeah, but you know, how many director of photography jobs have you gotten? Come on, at least once. One time, Richard, you and I have to apply to the same job. I don't have enough days left. I'm sorry, chaotic. Yo, escape rooms are great. Escape rooms can be great. They can also be bad. It's just, I know a lot of you don't know Richard. And many of you are somewhat familiar with Milkblade. But basically, my friend group wants to get an escape room with Richard and Milkblade, and it's mostly me and Lotus, and then we want to mostly remain quiet the entire time and watch those two work together to solve puzzles. We think it would be a very delightful time. Richard and Milkblade don't quite agree to the same steps, but you know, we'll see what we can do about that. You know, very fair. Technically, I don't have a DP credit. The hell are you implying, sir? That you and Milkblade collaborating on a puzzle would be extremely entertaining to watch. I can't imagine how long you guys would take. I'm usually pretty good at getting through them. I remember, ironically, like, I was with a group that we were in, like, a prison cell thing, and you had to escape into, like, the prison warden's office and solve the final puzzle there. But the final puzzle had to do with chess, and apparently we had actually made it into the final room at record time. But all of us were so shit at chess, we couldn't figure out the very last puzzle. So apparently we had gotten into the last room 15 minutes faster than anyone else. But we failed to get any record for the escape room because we got so fucking hung up on literally the last puzzle. And it was horrid. We were losing our goddamn minds trying to solve this fucking chess riddle. Oh god. Or how long it would take to sacrifice Eric for a solution. I don't know. I'm not usually a good sacrifice option, you know? I'm chill to just stand back and let people fucking do it. I can't tell if you're saying me and Milk are dumb or just don't work well together. It's mostly the working together part. You guys just have a very, very entertaining dynamic when you two work together. And we're all very hype about it. Oh, man. So Sour got good sleep and bad exam scores. Richard's getting exhausted as the holidays sneak up. How's everybody else doing? Ultima, V, how have your weeks been? Chaotic. Wishes their weekend was longer. It's very understandable. Honestly, over the course of a year, when I had a job that had like really good PTO, most of my PTO would be spent at the end of the year because none of it rolled over. So like the month of December was me using any hours I didn't have, and every other day that I used for paid time off was almost always a Monday or a Friday. Just because I'm like, I'm taking time off. I'll make it a goddamn long weekend. Ain't nobody stopping me. Oh shit, I got gifted Ball X Pit and I've been enjoying that. I really have been thinking about checking that one out. But I don't know, you guys make fun of me every time I bring a new roguelike game onto stream. It's never stopped me from doing it, but you guys do make fun of me every time. I'll let you decide how mean I am. Chaotic, you're not mean at all. You're just a weird old guy, aren't you, Chaotic? Oh, just a weird old guy. Doing well, having fun. Hell yeah, Ultima. That's fucking sweet. Finally got around to working on a video script I haven't touched in a million years, and it's not too far from being done. Fuck yes, Sour. Because of me getting sick, then me getting the fucking overnight job at Knott's Berry, and then finally recovering from that, I haven't touched video editing in so humiliatingly long that I need to get back into it. And I don't know, maybe this weekend I'll sit down and just kind of start the whole process of rewatching some old streams and trying to pick out some shit I can edit, and I can finally restart that process. Hopefully that'll go through. I also need to email people from my last fucking acting job because they still haven't sent me my payment. But you know what? I haven't checked this morning. 1 second. Yep, still haven't sent me my $50, those thieving bastards. Oh, man. But we'll see how that goes. Always ask for half up front. Only I don't think they had cash on the... This is the real downside of doing fucking student films from time to time. Is out of no fucking meanness at all. It's a bunch of idiot college students. I guarantee they 100% lost it on a list somewhere and they fully meant to pay it and just forgot. Literally forgot. Like, I remember at one point one of them emailing me because they had somebody who had lost something and they were looking for anyone who might have seen it. And it's just like, God damn, y'all, I just want $50, please. Please. Just, it's not even a lot. I'm not even upcharging you bitches. Come on. But I'll email them back. They made the mistake of giving me emails and phone numbers, so I could be horribly annoying very, very quickly. Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna remind them. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'll let a week go, and then if nothing happens, I'll start being annoying about it. Oh, sorry, we made a typo in our system. We sent a check to Eric of the same name. Oh, God. I wouldn't be... fuck. That would be fucking hilarious. I don't even... But yeah, that's just basically what I've been up to. Not a lot since Wednesday, honestly. Pretty chill. It was raining this morning, which is wild. I didn't think that shit happened in LA. So hopefully everything will be a bit cleaner. Actually, yesterday I went for a walk. I went for my usual walk, right? And I'm walking along and I noticed just like some shattered like plastic and glass on the sidewalk. I'm like, huh. That's weird. I keep walking. In a few feet, I see like this hunk of a car, like a small, like a quarter of a bumper. And you'd be surprised how frequently you see that around LA just somewhere. I'm like, oh, look at that. And then I kept walking. And then off the sidewalk, like in the gutter next to the road, there's like this weird metal grate box that looks like it's a piece of machinery. And at that point, I stopped and I'm like, And I look ahead of me down the sidewalk and behind me, and I realize in this narrow, like 20-foot stretch, there's a ton of shattered and discarded bits of like metal and plastic and glass. And it's all just contained to a narrow enough area that I'm like, what the fuck happened here? And I spend 2 minutes just looking up and down the sidewalk going, damn, did someone get in a really bad fender bender or something? And then I looked across the street. Directly across from me is a gas station with a convenience store, right? And in front of it, there's a bus stop. Except today there wasn't. Instead, today, in front of the gas station, was a ripped up section of grass and 2 flattened park benches that are normally where the bus stop was. And even more bits of glass and metal and plastic shattered and strewn about the place. As I look over there, like within a minute, a fucking cop car pulls over and they start taping off the benches. And it was just funny because I was fully like listening on my headphones in my own space on the walk, and I'm just like, shattered glass, that's weird. Ooh, bits of metal, that's pretty cool. Oh, look, part of a car bumper. Normal LA stuff. Hey, that looks like some fucking machinery. Is there... What's going on here? Oh. So I think someone really lost control of their car and took out an entire bus stop a couple of days ago. It took my idiot ass way too long to really notice the flattened benches. Oh my god. Yeah, it's going to be raining the next couple of days. The skyline looks great when the smog is cleared away from the rain. Well, that'll be cool to see. But yeah, otherwise, pretty chill couple of days. I have no real weekend plans, but I might annoy some people, figure out something to do. I'm feeling a little antsy. I finally know I've fully recovered from my time at Knott's Berry Farm. So I gotta get up to something this weekend. Whether it'll be video editing or going to a club, I'm not sure yet. But we'll figure out. You know, equal activities, you know. They're basically the same activity if you think about it. But with that, I think it's time for us to hippity hop our asses into the new Power Wash Sim. I have already launched the real game, and I even started the very first cleaning because I needed to get a snapshot for the thumbnail I wanted to make. For those of you who've seen the thumbnail, what do you think of my little dirt cleaning drawing of a tardigrade? I wonder if it's saved. Wait, it might be saved. Oh my god, I hope it saved it. Look at me! For any of you who last year got my little, what were they, my Christmas cards that had my little doodles on it that came with the stickers, I think you can recognize my drawing ability. Yeah, this is my water bear. Exactly. Alright, and to take the picture, I had to turn off all the fucking visuals. There we go. Alright, so for those who don't know, welcome to Power Wash Simulator. The game is relatively self-explanatory. We have a power washer, and we're cleaning off shit. Game starts you off tends to be with like a small vehicle of some kind, and you start working your way up to more and more dynamic places. And the last game, the last Power Wash Simulator, at one point had you cleaning off, I think, the lost city of Atlantis. So the game likes to progressively go more and more off the rails as time goes on. And I can only imagine they've decided to take that even further. In their sequel game. But yeah, so we're just going to be roaming around cleaning everything and hopefully getting to some absolute insanity today. This is a very chill and relaxed game and sort of falls into something I studied quite a bit in game design. So when the first Power Wash Simulator came out, I think I was in college and I had already transferred over into the game design program. And I had just read a book by something McGonagall. I'm fully forgetting her first name now, but her last name was McGonagall. And she wrote several books about sort of the ideas of games and play and like society and like the different ideas that they come up with. And this book focused around this idea of an emotion she called, I think, fiero, which was essentially an experience that is rather unique on emotions, but is cropped up a lot when you look at how people play games. And the idea of fiero is the idea of that feeling you get when you overcome a voluntary obstacle that stressed your skills. So it's basically this idea that we have this kind of reward system in us that really enjoys when we face up against an obstacle we don't have to face, essentially. Like, it's fully voluntary, not forced on us, and it really tests our skills. But on top of that, she also mentioned this idea that some of the best things you can get for people to like get stuck into a game, sort of get stuck into the loop and to truly enjoy it, is for a game to have extremely obvious feedback systems. Like, feedback systems that are visually represented are really good. So if you think of like an EXP bar, level up dings, all that, just immediate obvious progress that is clearly measurable. Minerva McGonagall, maybe it was Minerva, yeah. And it was just this idea that I realized related to why I thought cleaning games were popping off at the time. Because if there's one thing a cleaning game has, is it has a very clear visual and visceral distinction between where you've made progress and where you haven't. And it just wears that progress on the face of it. And it's just something where it's like interesting how essentially that's true for real cleaning and video game cleaning at the same time. So I just wonder how many people like end up just getting into doing certain chores, you know, that almost get sort of that same experience you might get taking on a game, right? I do know, I've mentioned this before, that when I try to procrastinate, I'm a chore procrastinator. Or if there's something I don't want to do, I just start doing all the chores that have ever existed. Though to be fair, that might have more to do with me wanting to feel like I'm still doing something, even if I'm failing to do what I'm supposed to be doing. But I think it can also relate to most chores have honestly that, like, whether it's doing the dishes, sweeping up, doing your laundry or whatever, it all comes with just an inherent obvious feedback loop, you know? Just something where it's immediately present, obvious, and unavoidable that you're making progress on it. Whereas other things don't give you that progress feedback. Oh, Richard, why do you know Minerva McGonagall? I had to read her for my game design program. I thought she really only wrote about, like, games. Admittedly, she doesn't have very, like, psych and historical context, so I guess I could see other things looking at it. But it seems she's very game-focused. Oh, sorry. I see what you... Fine, because Richard's gonna be a fucking annoying little fucking bug about it. Okay, Minerva McGonagall from Harry Potter. Okay, okay. Let's see your games. I also don't think it's McGonagall. I think it's Muggle. Is it Jane McGonagall? Yeah, I need the real name or else Richard will annoy me the whole time. Yeah, Jane McGonagall is the author. She has some very interesting stuff, so if any of you are at all interested in learning about, like, gaming in sort of a more philosophical approach, I recommend checking out Jane McGonagall. She has a few books out there. They go over a bunch of different things. Some are very historical oriented, looking at the history of places like ancient cities. She has like an entire chapter in one of her books dedicated to the history of the royal city of Ur and the games that it invented and how they were sort of used at their time. And that was very interesting to learn about. Point is, I've made a very funny joke. I've read Harry Potter, but yeah, I understand, Richard. You know who has never read a single Harry Potter book? This guy. Now, as a kid, I did have the audiobooks, and I would put those on and fall asleep to them, but I never actually read any of the books. I did watch the movies. Interestingly, even as a kid, I don't remember being ever super hyped about the movies, though. I'm really trying to remember back to the hype around the Harry Potter movies when they were coming out. And something, I don't know, it felt different than, like, other movies getting hyped up, you know? Maybe that was just because I was never super into it. Oh, hell yeah, we could use the wide one. Let's go. Boop, boop. Doot, doot. I never got into the series, just some parts of the movies scared me. Oh no, were you scared of the troll? The troll in the dungeon? Don't worry. I'll make sure no troll ever attacks you, Ultima. And that'll leave Harry free to check the king. To be fair, I was also the kid who was really excited about the Star Wars prequels when they started talking about the economics and the reasoning behind different geopolitical actions. I might have been a bit of an odd child. Harry Potter never went into, like, the geopolitics of what was going on. I'm just like, ooh, it's an evil Dark Lord, trust us, homie. And it was like, okay, but, like, why? They're also very British. What are you doing? Man, I'm really sad. I'm gonna have to spray down my fucking tardigrade drawing. We'll take one more look at it before I spray it down. Appear to be all the lights. Ooh, wait, do I gotta close the... Can I close the door? I almost feel like I should be able to close this. Because I'm seeing, like, dirt up there, but... Alright, no, I guess we're good. I guess we're fine. Really thought I'd have to close that. Squish, squish, squish. Spray, spray, spray. I didn't even know there was a troll. Yeah, there's the big troll scene in the first movie. Someone let a troll out of the dungeon. Although that also raises a question. Hey, movie? Why did the school have a troll locked in its dungeon? Hey, movie, why did Hogwarts have a troll in its dungeon? I don't think the troll was a student. Does Hogwarts normally just keep trolls in its dungeon? Why? You know, I'm actually thinking about that. That makes no sense. Why the fuck was there a troll? Hey, do I have any Harry Potter heads in chat? Hey, Richard, you said you read the books. Why the fuck did Hogwarts have a troll? Just on hand. Why they have a troll to let out of their dungeon? They didn't. The villains snuck the troll in to serve as a distraction so they could attempt to steal the Sorcerer's Stone. Okay. They snuck a troll in as a distraction. A troll to just serve as a quick little distraction. That seems dumb. Why a troll? What the fuck? Yeah, they snuck a 12-foot tall troll in. Well, no, magic. I'm sure they could sneak even larger things into the school. I just don't understand. I don't think trolls come up again, do they? Like, I know they talk about giants and there being a giant war at some point. I don't know. It feels like there might be, like, more efficient or better fucking distractions to use. Like, wouldn't a better distraction be, like, a bunch of things? Like, I'm thinking of, you know, the pixies that got let out at one point? Like, imagine you just let out 1,000 pixies in Hogwarts. I feel like that could cause more problems than one troll. And it'd probably be more, like, explainable how a bunch of pixies got into the school. Yeah, this is the only major instance of troll. Damn. Jessica. So we're doing pretty good. I'm really trying to avoid cleaning up my whole tardigrade drawing, but I feel like I'm running out of ways to avoid it at this point. Let's check the list. Let's hear what we got. The exhaust. Ooh, we could go do the exhaust. Hubcap. Which hubcap? Oh, this hubcap. Here we could do this old tire. Yeah, that'll be fine. That won't clean the tardigrade. We said exhaust, right? Okay, what else can we do? Truck bed. Like this bed? Like the inside bed, or? Let's see, what do we got? We've got the truck bed, 2 of 4. Truck lower side, truck side trim, truck upper side. And I feel like we might be basically at the end here. Alright, well, we'll scrape it up. We'll take one last look at my little doodle, and then we'll clean this truck off and see what the next map has in store for us. But yeah, y'all, this is the very basics of Power Wash Simulator. There's also, like, more washing equipment you can buy, you can make use of soaps or whatever, but, you know, pretty straightforward, chill, relaxing game. After my last stream being a very stressful and not super successful day of trying to get achievements and, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, I needed a chill day. I needed a relaxed day. I needed a day with some forgiveness on it. Water bear. Alright, time to clean her up. Sorry, me. Oh, but I have done a couple of the weapon masteries off stream now, so I think I'm up to 270 achievements. I think there's only 30 left. So I am making a little bit of slow progress off stream as well. And don't worry, we'll work to finish it up. But there will come a day, even if I do get, like, all of the lethals and all the weapon masteries, where I'm just gonna have to sit down and do 75 successful runs, which will be fucking wild. Yeah. Job complete. Let's get that cleaned up. How effective do you think a holy water-filled power washer would be against a vampire? I don't know. Would you even need to go as far as to make holy water? Like, couldn't you just, like, feed it off of a running stream, right? Because if it's running water, isn't it already dangerous? I guess it just depends. It just depends, you know? on which lore system you're working with specifically. A fun fact I have learned about holy water is apparently to make holy water, all you need is for water to be mixed with more than 50% holy water. So say you got a gallon jug of holy water, right? And you split it in half and you had 2 half-gallon jugs of holy water. And then into each of those you added a quarter jug of normal water. You now have 2 jugs with 3/4 of holy water. So you can, if you're willing to mix correctly and engage in a little bit of homeopathy, you can, if you get one small amount of holy water, eventually create essentially a bottomless supply of holy water. And you know, if you keep mixing this up to a certain degree, eventually you could probably like accrue enough holy water to make a lake into holy water. That doesn't mean you need to add more water than's currently in that lake. But then you have a holy lake. And then what happens is that if that holy water starts evaporating, right? Then you've got holy condensation, and then that's when things get really crazy. Because eventually you might be able to build yourself up to having enough water to holy every body of water one by one. I could do it better. Holy water humidifier, just make them existing in an area pane. Homeopathy and that dog from Oz is why there are no vampires in Africa. I'm sorry. What do you mean that dog from Oz? I'm really gonna need you to explain that one to me, okay? Because I'm very concerned and confused by what you just said. Do I save up and get like the next up strength of Power Washer? Like, I wish they had like a stat thing I could be looking at. Yeah, you know, we can do one more job with our current stuff and see if that'll earn it. Well, we're only at 200 cash. We're pretty far away from the Prime Vista. Alright. Oh yeah, this is the map you had in the demo of the game. So this is actually the map that got me really excited about this sequel. Because this map introduced something that the first game didn't really do, and it made me really hopeful that like all of the maps in this game would make use of this. Obviously we had to do the cleaning the van map, but I feel like that's just like your tutorial, relearn all the basics without anything new being introduced. Basically just this is like what you would see in the first game. This one though, I really hope every map in the game is at least as cool as this one. And if they can find a way to do a vehicle map that does what this map does as well, that would be fucking amazing. Vampire gas. God damn it. Now you do gotta be careful, I think, with the humidifier and the idea of like vampire gas or whatever, because you are diluting things, so it's not like pure holy water, it's holy water vapor, you know? So there's space in between the holy water particulates, so it's likely they could survive. And you get yourselves a very new, very horrible version of the March of the Dead Men. Which, I'm sorry, I am so happy, honestly, the way that history worked out. or one of the first major uses of poison gas as a primary implement, immediately showed off the downside of chemical weapons as being used as your primary weapon. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure it was during World War One. There was I think it was a Russian fortress that the Germans at the time were having a hard time sieging, but just recently a new bit of tech had come out called poison gas. And someone made the argument that they would be able to take the fort with none of the losses that they were expecting to have to deal with on an assault. So what they did is they set up a bunch of canisters of this gas. Like, most of you probably are aware that the way poison gas primarily was used was either in bombing runs or as artillery shells as its mode of, like, being applied. Where you would still have bombs and artillery going off, they would just also be releasing a poisonous gas. But for this instance, because they wanted to prove that just the gas was enough to do the job, they had giant fucking fans and just huge canisters of this gas, and they just blew it across no man's land as this fog, this green fog of chemicals, and had it just wash over the fort. But this is what I'm excited about. Dynamic maps that change as you clean them. And they let the gas just wash over the fort for, I think, like 3 days. You know, just fully fumigate it. But what they didn't, you know, take into account is why your doctor wants you to take your antibiotics for a certain amount of time, which is definitely overkill. Is no matter how certain you are about your chemicals, if you don't go for 100% overkill, chemical reactions are never 100% mathematically exact. It's just the nature of biological interactions. And so, after they had fumigated this fortress for like 3 days, the Germans decided to march on it. And so confident were they that they had wiped everyone out that they went in sort of a parade-style march. God damn. So basically, they weren't doing a normal, like, defensive procedural march. You know, advancing with covering fire, preparing fallback points, that sort of stuff. They just sort of marched forward, and they got all the way up and entered the first line of defenses, when all of a sudden, all of the collapsed and bleeding and coughing Russian soldiers slowly started standing up and firing at the disorganized German troops who had entered into their terrain, and then charged. And because they were not set up with defensive positions, because they weren't expecting any level of counterattack, the counterattack was completely effective, ended up shattering the German advance and fully setting them back, leading to one of their most humiliating assaults on any fort. And it's just so amazing. That was like one of the first real major uses of chemical weapons in warfare. And it immediately shows the major downside of a chemical weapon compared to a kinetic weapon. Listen, you put a round through someone, you know they're shot. If you fumigate an area, a lot of the people there are probably dead or at least fucked up. But you will never know to what degree until you go in. Hell, you just gotta think of like how people fumigate houses for insects. To really do it right, you gotta tent that whole thing up and let it go for days to wipe out things as small as bugs. If you actually wanted to fumigate a fort of people who are going to try and defend themselves in whatever way possible, whether that ranges from, you know, actual masks to just desperately trying to escape, The math is never going to be 100% correct. Toto's Africa. Oh, I blessed the rains down in Africa. Okay, I got you. I understand. I understand, Richard. The rains are blessed, so the vampires die in Africa. Okay, okay. Now, most cultures actually do have some version of vampires. I know there's Far Eastern vampires. Obviously, there are Western vampires. Does Africa have any vampire traditions? I'm pretty sure most of the undead folklore for Africa focused around, like, zombified minions of, like, magic users. But I don't know if there was any sort of, like, vampire adjacent mythos there. I had the immense displeasure to learn that the Blood in the Chocolate TTRPG campaign, do not seek this cursed knowledge. Well, you're gonna have to explain to me what you're even talking about. I have never even heard of that tabletop game. Blood in the Chocolate? Is it a vampire tabletop game, Richard? What are you talking about? You have to give me enough information to not be curious. It's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Designed by local visionary Nadia von Gotz, the pop-up restroom was designed to only appear when needed. Relying on a state-of-the-art camera system, kinetic motion sensors buried deep in the sidewalk would detect from the gate of passers-by when relief was required and pop up in the nick of times. Often it knew even before they did. Ah, the AI bathroom. That'll only be available in the nick of time. I couldn't imagine trying to pitch the idea of a bathroom that only reveals itself when it thinks you might need it, and you don't have a way to manually call it up. Listen, if this was like a restroom that hid under the sidewalk, but you could hit a button to call up to make use of, that'd be one thing. But one, you just gotta wait till it's convinced you have to go. Like, goddamn. Do you think it prioritized whether someone was standing on it or whether someone had to go? Like, if someone was walking across it and it detected someone else really had to go to the bathroom, I think this thing would launch up and just make this person have to deal with waiting till they were done. I like to imagine this bathroom particularly gave all preference to people who needed to go, at the detriment of all others. Wait, how does a pop-up bathroom get this dirty? No, wait, if this has been underground, unless it was needed and only remained up for as long as it was being used, how did it get this filthy? Oh wait, if this is a bathroom, I'm gonna have to clean a toilet, aren't I? Oh no. Well, maybe it has an automatic cleaning system. There are bathrooms in places that actually hose themselves down. I think I saw a video of a guy who got himself trapped in one of them. Blood Chocolate is a campaign based on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and features a heaping amounts of racism, fetish content, and understood. Thank you. That is a perfect amount of information, Richard. I appreciate that. Does it have the unknown, the evil chocolate maker who lives in the wall? How does a single person bathroom that only pops up when someone really needs it get this fucking dirty? What the fuck? People really needed to go and it didn't pop up. Yeah, but if it didn't pop up, how would they have fucking tagged it? What's all this green shit? Is this algae? Or is it green shit? Let's get the fucking toilet cleaned up so I don't have to think about this anymore. There we go. Perfectly clean. Just in this bar. It's like the bathrooms in the theater I worked at. I hope the bathrooms in the theater you worked at weren't literally this caked in dirt. Unless you were working in an abandoned building, I would have several questions. You know, Richard, I was actually thinking about this recently, and it was sort of a wild thing to think about, but it was while I was working at Knott's Berry. It occurred to me, just because, like, you know, I was interacting with people there, and then during the day, like, one day I, like, went and I hung out with, like, Lotus and Milk, right? That I think of our friend group, I think you're the only one who's ever seen me in work mode. For those who don't know, Richard and I actually worked together once. We worked at a local pizzeria and bar place together as line cooks for a summer. But it just made me realize, I think, Richard, you're the only one of my friend group who has actually ever worked in the same place I have. Huh, that's nuts. I know, it's just kind of funny to think about. And I was actually just wondering, hey, Richard, do you remember working with me? What is work mode Eric like? Because I'm relatively sure I behave differently in work mode than I do when I'm not in work mode. But I'm real curious what the impression of work mode Eric is. Remember when you'd take dough scraps, fill them with butter, then deep fry them? Then the manager put the... Wait, did they actually put them on the menu? I remember when they joked about doing that. Did they ever actually do that there? Those motherfuckers. Stealing my goddamn butter bombs. I literally never went back there after I stopped working. Yeah, they actually sold them at the bar for a little bit. Deep fried bread and butter. Who could have thought humans would like to eat that? Oh yeah, that's right, everyone. Everyone knows that about people. Yummers. No, we just always had like these little scraps of like pizza dough that we couldn't use for anything because you couldn't mix it back into the main dough after it got cut just because it had been through the machinery, you know? And there was always enough left that I'm like, I'm gonna do something with them. So I just like started fucking around with them a little bit. And then one day I took one of them and just sort of took the so we had like melted butter, you know, with one of those like cooking brushes in it that you would brush down the dough with. And I just took one of those and I just like heavy layered butter onto one of those things and I just kept layering it up. And then I pinch twisted it, kind of like making a dumpling. And I tossed that into the deep fryer for like 30 seconds. And then I pulled it out and I'm like, here, butter bomb. And I just kept giving those to people when we had a bunch of scrap dough left over. Wow, work mode Eric is a lot like regular Eric, except he bites his tongue. Wow, I don't know. I don't know how to take that, but alright. I like to think of myself as a very professional worker. Wow. Hi, Hyperbeam. How you been, my guy? I feel like I haven't seen you for like a week. How has your week been? You got any weekend plans coming up? Welcome, welcome. You're still you crack jokes here and there, but you're very focused on the task. Yeah. Alright, how we doing? The ceiling is still horrid, but we've almost finished the walls. Did I just power wash this toilet paper? Oh, it's in a plastic container. I was about to say, hey, I don't think that toilet paper's clean. Listen, I don't think you can power wash toilet paper to be clean. Sorry, guy. Remember when they essentially napalmed yourself cleaning the grill? Yeah, I do remember that. Kind of while they didn't have gloves for that job. Yeah, that's very true. Just fucking burning hot, end of the day grease, just all splattering out as you're trying to scrub it clean. God damn. I think it wasn't until the end of the summer that that fucking burn had finally healed. No, one of the things that I always laughed about was when they tried to implement a cheese limit for the pizzas. That was fucking hilarious. That was very much the sign that that place was going under. Hey guys, for the pizzas we're making, it feels like you all are using too much cheese. We're gonna limit you down on the amount of cheese you're allowed to use on our pizzas. Oh my god. what was it, like 1 cup of cheese per pizza, I think? No one actually only used 1 cup of cheese per pizza. Absolutely horrible. I've had 5 math tests and I've had to deal with technical issues, and I just got off a Night Rain ranked with the worst players ever. So how you doing? I'm doing okay. Are people getting really excited for the new Night Rain stuff? I had some of my friends talking about it. Never played the game, but it sounds like they're adding a little bit of everything in this next DLC. New characters for people to play, new bosses for people to fight. Are they adding a whole new fucking lord, or just like mini bosses up to the end? According to my friends, they also think they should add a toucan. I didn't understand it at all, but they both agreed that Night Rain needs to add a toucan. I know I am. Thing is, we don't know if there's going to be another Light Lord. Oh. Here's hoping that... I don't fucking know about the toucan. What, you don't think Night Rain should add a toucan? Hyperbeam Frog, are you going to stand by that controversial opinion that you actively think they should never add a toucan to the game? This is your one chance to back out of that opinion, Hyperbeam. Alright, everybody in chat, who thinks they should add a toucan to Night Rain? I could assume there will be? Why do you assume there will be a toucan added to Night Rain? Alright, Ultima, enjoy your chicky nuggies and avoiding answering my toucan question. No, because it doesn't make... What doesn't make sense? Just picture Night Rain, right? And then picture that there is a toucan. Yeah, so if you can hold those two pictures in your head, then you just put the toucan, just pick somewhere in Night Rain, and then you put the toucan there. See? Toucan Night Rain. Most games would be improved by the addition of toucans. You see? This is what my friends were saying. And they think Night Rain should really add... Technically, they started by saying an audacious, colorful bird, and should have a really big beak. And then I asked them if they meant a toucan. They're like, yeah, Night Rain should add a toucan. So I guess if you could think of a different audacious bird with a really big beak, we could go with that instead of a toucan if you feel like a toucan doesn't make sense. I hadn't played Night Rain, so the best I could tell they were talking about was a toucan. But since you've played Night Rain, you probably have a better idea of an audacious bird with a really big beak that should be added to Night Rain. Toucans do not fit the theme, lol. But yes, it would be funny. No, I remember I was chatting with my friends, and they were telling me that one time Hideo Kojima, we were talking about just a bunch of different weird games, right? They were talking about Hideo Kojima had once apparently scanned a ghost to put into a game, and I hadn't heard them correctly. So I thought they were saying Hideo Kojima had made a game about scanning ghosts, and I just spent a 5-minute walk trying to picture Phasmophobia as made by Hideo Kojima. And let me tell you, I got myself a little too hyped for the idea. I got myself really way too hyped about the idea of a Phasmophobia game made by Hideo Kojima. That was recent, like a few months ago? He scanned a ghost a few months ago? Well, good for him. He should make a Phasmophobia game. Side. Hell yeah. You'll be delighted to learn the public facilities kinetic sensors have been updated. It's been successfully reintegrated into our public convenience network, just in time for the upcoming Equinox Festival. All right, Equinox Festival is definitely going to be the fucked up paranormal lore in this game. Instead of whatever it was with the lost city of Atlantis, it's going to be based on the Equinox. I can say with confidence that you'll be hearing from us again. How much did I get paid? 400? I think that only puts us... Yeah, we're only at 600. So we'd have to do at least one more job before we can upgrade our power washer. Campsite. Okay. I don't know how they're going to make a campsite dynamic, but I'm rooting for them. Let me know when you found the place. We've already headed for home. Camping is definitely not for us. A pair of boggy sprogs and one grubby hubby were in no mood to hang out. Know what I mean? Don't really know what else to say about it. Suppose the muck tells its own story. Hold on. Instead of a toucan, they should add a black-backed dwarf kingfisher. Alright. Black-backed dwarf kingfisher. Oh, that thing's back isn't black at all. Oh my god. That is an audacious bird with a big fucking beak. Y'all want to see an audacious fucking bird with a big fucking beak? One sec. No, I'm sharing this one. Look at this little guy. That's fucking adorable. I do love him. Don't know why he's called the black-backed dwarf kingfisher, but fucking go for it, my guy. The bird's beak is almost as long as the guy's torso. He do be rocking. I do think probably Toucan got a bigger beak, but this guy is real good too. Bird up. 100%. Bird up. I guess, how could this get weird? If we gotta go... No! Fuck. Can't get the gnome. We're gonna look around. We're gonna see if we can get off the track and find something weird. Like Bigfoot. Or a muggy hubby or whatever they said fucking mudded up their place. Damn. Feels like I can't. Fuck. Damn. Alright, well, we get up on the roof. We clean from top to bottom. Seems reasonable. Nah. To be fair, I'm more of a corvid guy when it comes to like favored birds. I do love me some fucking ravens and crows and magpies and all those goofy little assholes. What is funny is I've heard from people who have kept corvids like as pets or like on certain farms or what have you, that the real problem with corvids is they are more needy than any other pet you could ever have. And they will actively destroy anything they think is taking your attention away from them. If you've ever seen a video of a jealous dog or cat, like trying to get pets instead of a different animal, I once heard from a guy that was like, yeah, so unfortunately I was playing games on my computer too long when my bird wanted attention. So after I went to bed, he pecked all of the keys out of the keyboard since that was the part I was touching. Animals are very funny. Yeah, there we go. Ah! I fell. Let's see here. Big beak to body ratio. Blue Jays are corvids, Lamau. Are they? You know, not too surprised, but I definitely haven't thought of them as that before. Yeah, corvids are too smart for their own good. They're not quite smart enough. I wonder what it would take for an animal to realize the real power they could have over a person. I think I've talked about this before, but my evidence that something went wrong in how humans developed our brain that gave us just the most hyperactive herd mentality ever is like, I feel that you could name any animal, and if it behaved correctly, any person would immediately think of it as theirs. Well, the example I gave once, I was talking to somebody who was like afraid of snakes. And I just gave the example. Okay, imagine you're walking through the woods and the most venomous, or like the most obviously venomous snake you've ever seen. Like imagine a king cobra rolls out of the woods and starts slithering up on you. And imagine you freeze out of fear, right? So you don't like try to attack it, you can't run away, you just freeze up. And then the king cobra rolls up to you, right? And kind of boops its head against your leg and then looks up at you and like wags its head back and forth and just snuggles up onto your shoe. That's your fucking snake now, right? You're gonna take that snake home and give it whatever you can look up that snakes like to eat. And I think even if you hate snakes, if the snake behaves correctly, I think humans will immediately adopt any animal that behaves correctly, no matter what the animal is. It's just something where I'm like, I think there's something wrong with human brains. I think there's something that got mixed up when we were setting ourselves up to be herd animals that really overwrote survival instinct up there. Let's see here. Corvids are flying cats to a pretty big degree. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's using the extreme example of a venomous snake. If an animal not as immediately dangerous started behaving in a cute way, god damn. It's just because sometimes I see like ravens or crows gathered in some places, you know, trying to steal food out of trash cans or whatever. And I just think, those idiot birds. If only they knew. If one of those birds just picked an old woman at random, just flew up to her and started making cute noises, that they'd probably buy them a whole ass rotisserie chicken to eat. Dumb birds. If I was ever cursed to turn into an animal, I would just watch people until I find someone that's clearly an animal lover, then immediately get them to adopt me so I could start eating good food again. I could get bit by a snake and I'd still adopt it. Alright, that's a little more extreme than what I'm talking about, though. That might just be a you problem, Hyperbeam. Snakes do be neat. They are neat. And I am going to miss the snake juniper. I wonder how Gnocchi's doing. I should annoy her into letting me see Gnocchi sometime. Gigantify. Alright, Hyper Beam. I guess this is what I get for bringing her up. There's your fucking emote, you goddamn gremlin. Yay! We're making some good progress. What? What the fuck? What? Oh, I guess we'll put it over here. This will at least be out of the way, but I can't, like, put it on the ground? That's wild. Oh. Do you ever turn on emote only mode? It's gonna be this in the chat. You give me, I don't get enough fucking going to do emote only mode. Y'all are very calm. It also has been a while since any of you have tried to send me off on a tangent. It's been, I think, at least 2 months since any of you have tried to send me off on a tangent, and I do appreciate that. Pipes. Alright, so how are we doing? We've got the other side pretty cleaned up. We've done basically all this baseboard around. Got the front porch. Alright, we're going to do the side again. Just kind of get the whole roof done up. And then we'll work around the other sides. And once we have this clean, we'll go around and hit all the extra bits all around the campsite. Hi, son. How you doing, my guy? Who was it? V, I think, is usually very successful at sending me off on tangents. There's a few other people who have specialized in that particular skill set, but it has been a hot minute. I don't know if that's my personal self-control or if people are just sort of trying to settle in for the holidays coming up and aren't trying to start extra arguments. We'll have to have a Thanksgiving stream together where it's just family argument time. Yay! Clean. Oh, but when we got back from the walk, all our porridge had been eaten, even though the hubby likes his stone cold and I like mine boiling hot. Wait, is this the Three Bears and Goldilocks? Hold on, wait. Am I cleaning a bear house right now? This is a bear house? Hold on a second. Doing good, you? I'm having a chill fucking Friday. We're just out here power washing, chatting, talking about past jobs and what have you. Just sort of a chill chat day. Glad you could join us. You got any weekend plans, my guy? Hey, I think that's the whole roof. Hell yeah. Is the roof clean? I think it's the backside clean, so we just gotta clean off the front. And then all these random particularities we got. Then we'll be good to go. Unless, like I hope, this map is dynamic. I really hope every single fucking map is dynamic, honestly. Just the idea of dynamic maps is so fucking cool. I'm rooting for it. Wash, 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 wash. Thanksgiving stream when it's just black screen, people yelling about politics, sports in the background. No, what are the banned topics always? Politics and religion? A politics and religion only stream. I can't possibly see how that could go wrong. We might have to change the rules to match the modern times. Hey, no Epstein talk at the table. If even one of you kids says 6-7, then the goddamn Thanksgiving is canceled. Do you think the kids out there just repeating 6-7 over and over again know that they're actually making it more and more rapid of a transition into being a meme that adults say? Essentially, if you overuse it to the point that this meme is being overused, it is inevitable for people to start using it ironically. And once people start using it ironically, it gets stuck in their vernacular, and then everyone just starts using it mindlessly. And once it's used mindlessly, that's when everybody who doesn't really get memes is just using it all the time. And then the meme's dead. But like, this is such a constantly repeated meme that I feel like it's gonna have like the shortest half-life of it. Like, it's gonna probably be on the same level of fucking Ugandan Knuckles, right? Like, it's gonna be that short of a lifespan. What do you guys think? Is that a good comparison? Is Ugandan Knuckles a good comparison for the 6-7 meme? Because I feel like they've got some similar vibes to them. We go. I think that's like house cleaned up. Wait, what is this? Lantern? Oh, there's like 4 lanterns around the place. Okay, okay. Anything else that's got a percent clean? I think it's just lantern. Yeah, so I think house is cleaned up, y'all. My friend's little brother says it always. How's that? 21 is right there. 21. Wait, am I forgetting a cringe-ass meme? No, Ultima, you're younger than me, right? You're not thinking of a meme I'm too young to know. That wouldn't make sense. What is 21? I'm older than you, and I know what 21 is. Yeah, that's what it was. It doesn't feel like this is a I'm too young meme. The fuck was 21? Uganda Knuckles at least has meaning aside from being funny by how unfunny the random numbers are. No, no, son, don't. Okay, Hyperbeam might be right, but son, just because you don't like the 6-7 meme, don't let that trick you into defending Uganda Knuckles. Uganda Knuckles was just absurd repetition. It is the same premise of joke. Now, there was more things you could say with Uganda Knuckles. They had, like, what, 3 sentences you could say, and it would still be in the meme? So there were more things you could say, but mechanically speaking, it's the exact same fucking meme. It's absurdism to a degree of it being funny to repeat it. Don't let that trick you, though, into complimenting Uganda Knuckles as a meme. There is lore, Eric. There's lore to 6-7 as well. Do you know the way? Way of the devil. Oh my god. I think it isn't a good example because I still see it today. I have not seen anything referencing Uganda Knuckles in fucking years. Where are you? Where people are still referencing that. That is wild to me that people would still be referencing that. Ooh. There's 4 lanterns, right? Let's hunt down the lanterns. You don't know the way? My brother. I guess that's true. That's true. I do not know the way. Ah! I can't spray these cats. What are these cats? Ulysses and Squeak? Huh. These cats for the campsite, or are they my cats? I can't spray the cats. No, it literally won't let me. You see, he puts the nozzle away when I try to aim at them. They won't let me spray the cats. One of those situations like in the games that won't let you shoot NPCs. I'm gonna look through. Let me look through. God damn it. Oh, they're probably setting up for the, what, the Equinox, right? Is what they said from the first map? Yeah, we gotta look for anything that might be about people setting up for the Equinox. Because I maintain that's gonna be our big instigating, incident. That's what's going to start the real story of the Power Wash Simulator 2 game. There's going to be like a cult or a demon summoning or something. Okay, I'm going to be honest. If this game at some point turns into Viscera cleanup detail, I would be so fucking hyped. I'd be so there for it. That doesn't at all match the vibe of the game, and they will never do it. But 100% they will. Oh, wait, actually, for Wild Things today, I didn't realize they actually do this pretty regularly, but it caught me so off guard. I saw in my recommendeds a Whitest Kids You Know clip that had obviously had the title changed because it was the happier with your mouth more open bit. But instead of being titled that, it was titled, what is it, Weapons was a sequel to this? And I'm just laughing as the whole clip, you know, is about Zach directing actors. And just his only note always being happier with your mouth more open. And it really made me hope that he did that at least once to someone while directing Weapons. But apparently, according to another one of my friends, they frequently re-upload with different relevant titles to something that's going on. I was just fully never aware of it. Alright, I think we're getting close to the end here. Barbecue, 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 look out, cleaning a barbecue. I should watch Weapons. I don't think I've seen any actual of the movies that Zach has made since after Whitest Kids You Know. I was a really big fan of Whitest Kids You Know. I should check it out. You know what? And because of how much stuff it's been getting, I imagine it's doing really, really well. Which just raises a question. Why are our age's best horror movie writer and directors fucking Zach from Whitest Kids You Know and the guys from Key and Peele? What is with these fucking skit comedy actors becoming our age's greatest horror movie directors? It's just very funny, like, you know, if I had a nickel for every time a comedy skit writer and actor became an award-winning acclaimed horror film director, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it's happened twice. A white boy in motion stays in motion, fucking get it. Let's do the one that tries to get rid of fleas, help them get clean. Wait. What kind of monster would want to spray the cats? I don't know, someone who doesn't like those cats watching us. And how you doing, One Within? When'd you show up? I think I missed you saying hi, but welcome, my guy. How's your week been? Oh yeah, Eric, there is an Aurora Borealis today? Oh, where is it, visible? Where's the Aurora Borealis fucking localized to? Do you know what kind it is? Because I grew up in Alaska, I actually saw quite a few of them, but we always got the white ones, and those ones are unfortunate because basically what a white Aurora Borealis looks like is just a cloud that you can see at night. So they're actually, as cool as they are, they're a little underwhelming when you finally notice them, because it's kind of like a faintly glowy cloud at night, and it's like, nature is beautiful, but goddamn, did I really not have to get out of bed to come look at this, I'd say. The perks of being in Alaska. That, and you get to leave your beer out, and it'll get nice and cold. No, honestly, that was a funny thing growing up in Alaska is at parties and stuff. Instead of putting drinks in the fridge, people would actually put their drinks out on their porches or something. Just like put them right outside the door and you'd leave them there instead. That was always funny and goofy. That was like, some people would even put them in coolers with ice in them, but then put that outside. And it's like, okay, you know, we already have it in a cooler and ice. We don't have to also put it outside. We're not making a difference at a certain point. But people just liked having the drinks outside for some reason. Skit comedy must bring out horrors. True. True, though. It's the only explanation. The performance of skit comedy must be some sort of unknown demonic ritual that reveals the true horrors of the world. Oh, milk of the well, what is your wisdom? Get me the fuck out of here! Why did you at me, Hyperbeam? Pretty much everything above Texas? Okay. I don't think I'm above Texas. Is LA above Texas? Like, I can see a map of America in my head, but I don't know how the latitude lines are supposed to work exactly, you know? I am very geographically dumb. Remember, I'm just an English teacher, not a geography teacher. You're making good-ass progress. There we go. I think that's the whole well cleaned out. Fuck yeah. Now let's get the ground done, I think, and just leave the standing objects. Then we can also check the list of things. We can see if there's any, like, thing on the task list that seems obvious that we're missing. Well, let's see. What do we got? 67% on long log bench. There's one of 3. And then chain roof, cabin roof trim. Uh-oh. Wait, roof trim? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, wait. This is glowing. This part? Hey, got it. Hell yeah. But then I think it's just the logs. There we go. I think last log, and we should be done with this cabin. I'm a little sad because nothing dynamic happened, and after the bathroom, I was really convinced like everything would be dynamic. I was really hyped for dynamic cleaning. And you can see it in LA. I just looked it up. Thank you, Hyperbeam Frog. I appreciate you. Look at that little guy go, cleaning everything. I just heard that we got our deposit back, and after watching that amazing vid, I'm not surprised. Incredible, incredible job. Thank goodness for you and your amazing portable power washers of yours. Hopefully the bear, or whatever it is, didn't wake up and bother you. We left it sleeping in the lodge and didn't know whether to mention it or not. Ah, so it is a reversal of the Goldilocks story. Art Deco house. All right, let's go. And this time we're going to buy a new power washer. We're going to see if we can get that higher quality one. So this is Trilobite Lodge? Trilobite. Apologies for how filthy it is. Just got back from a dig in Alaska to find the house looking like this. My other half, Karen, apparently vanished into thin air. Be the first time whenever she gets a whiff of anything interesting, that's her gone for a month. Oh, what's this? All right, let's get into it. Anybody know what a trilobite is? West PST? Yeah, it's Pacific Standard Time. We want the Prime Vista? Right? Is that the one we just got? Oh, it was the Prime Vista 15, but we just bought the Prime Vista 24. Okay, so it's this one that we just got. We got an extension for it. Alright, there we go. So what do we got? We got this play. Uppies! Sorry, I got really excited about that. I don't know what's up with me, but that got me really excited. Having an uppie machine is always hype for me. Let's get on the roof proper, and we'll clean from top to bottom. Best way to do it, in my opinion. Oh yeah, this one's got a lot more power to it. Let's go. Gotta keep upgrading your equipment. Only way to approach it. Real angular roof they got up here. I feel like this roof's not going to do a good job of letting water run off it during rain. Maybe that's what all this is. Maybe this is all water damage from water settling into all the crevices.
Another name for tardigrades is Moss Piglet LM World.
Oh yeah, Moss Piglet. You didn't know about that one? What is it? Water bears, tardigrades, moss piglets, slow steppers is another one. I don't know if there are any others, but there have been a few nicknames for them. I just think of them as is me. Wow. I heard the slow steppers and water bear. Technically, slow stepper is just what tardigrade means, actually. Tardy, slow, grade is steps. And that's where you've got, for example, when people talk about something being like digit grade, or like, you know, like birds or horses or whatever that are technically walking on their toes, they're digit grade. As opposed to animals with like planted flat feet are called plantigrade. And then tardigrades are tardigrade. We got the slow feet. just like sloths. Man, could you imagine if instead of water bear, I was called a water sloth? I'm gonna be honest, that actually might have been a better comparison for tardigrades. We walk slow, we little guys, and we got those big ass claws. We are a lot more similar to sloths than we are to bears now that I'm thinking about it. Though tardigrades do have a little more of a predatory instinct than sloths tend to have. Unless you're the sloth from Slaughterhouse, that's a little... Are y'all seeing this? Did I ever tell y'all about the time I saw skywriting here? So I was walking around, and then I noticed there was some weird fucking clouds, right? But they didn't look like normal skywriting, you know? Like the kind that's like cursive, that like is a trail behind a plane writing it out. There was like this weird choppy style I had never seen before. And it caught me so off guard that I'm just looking up at it, because it was like a whole ass sentence too. But it was like upside down for me. I kept looking around to everyone else that was walking on the sidewalk that day, and no one else seemed to be acknowledging it or seeing it, because I'd never seen that style or anything like that before. I thought I was losing my mind. And I ended up actually stopping a woman who was walking by, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I need to just check if I've gone crazy or not. Is there writing in the sky right now? And the woman looked fucking terrified for a second. But then she looked up, saw there was, and was like, oh yeah, there is. And then she tried to have a conversation with me about it. And I was like, no, ma'am, I was just checking. We don't have to, like we're strangers. You thought I was weird for asking you about whether or not there was writing. You don't gotta... And it just made me realize this woman's probably never been stopped before for a reason that was normal. I was just so happy that the random guy who asked her to check if he was crazy was not crazy. And then was like, oh, well, now we can have a convo. It caught me, honestly, more off guard than it should have. I really be operating off the assumption that people, you know, just want to finish their business and move on. Everybody in there, just like, once they realize I'm not a threat, they want to have a convo. Catches me off guard every time. LA is so different to New York. Normal. Asking about writing in the sky is normal. If there is skywriting, yes, that is normal. In the context of the situation and the facts of the matter, yes, that is actually a normal thing to check with someone about. Now, if there hadn't have been writing, or if the writing had been something like cultish in nature, then the situation changes. When there is skywriting in the sky, it is a normal question. Gotta remember, what's normal is entirely defined by the situation you're in. Ah, shoot. Am I too low to get up there again? Alright, we'll power wash this white portion, then we'll get back on the big ladder and get up top again. Bears don't hibernate. They torpor. Do bears not hibernate? I thought bears did hibernate. I thought torpor was something unique to reptiles? Yeah, I thought torpor was cold-blooded. Hibernating was warm-blooded. I don't even know why I would know that if that turns out to be correct. Nope. Wait, then what is the difference then? Is that backwards? Is torpor warm-blooded, hibernating cold-blooded? One is optional, one isn't. Oh. So bears just choose to fuck off for a bit? Is that all bears? Is there a difference between like polar bears and other bears? Because I don't know how optional it is for polar bears. I feel like if you're north of the Arctic Circle, skipping out on a portion of the year is not optional. Because imagine if you had to deal with that every winter. Then polar bears would suffer from seasonal depression. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's how you dodge seasonal depression. Just sleep through it. Just sleep through that season. Just chalk that season up as a loss on your taxes and sleep through it. Government, actually, I don't have to pay any taxes for the season of winter this year. I'm torporing. Polar bears don't go into torpor or hibernation? They have to do it all year? Fuck. That sucks. That's some bullshit right there. Polar bears dyeing their fur before going into the government. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a brown bear. And I'm gonna be skipping winter this year. Thank you. Thank you. God, that's like working a job with no PTO, learning your buddy has a different job that has paid time off. I'm sorry, what? You get to take a sick day and get paid? Homie, what the fuck? What's that about? I do not like this roof. This roof is goofy as shit. It's all fucking angular and shit, and I keep falling off because of that. Oh, we got a big portion done there. Hell yeah. saying there's an Aurora Borealis located entirely within your kitchen? Can I see it? Oh. There we go. We're getting ourselves nice and clean up here, no matter how stupid this roof is and how much this house should just be redesigned. Forget power washing. I think you should tear it down and start over, but we'll get her clean either way, I guess. Hey Eric, I'm gonna head out. See ya. Alright, take care, Hyper Beep Frog, and thank you for sharing your bear facts with me. I appreciate that. Have a good fucking weekend, my dude. Remember to have some fun. Figure out what you want to get up to. Because I still haven't decided. I'm still torn between going to a club or doing video editing. Yes! Rest well. You too. Hell yeah. Take care, my guy. There we go. Is that the whole roof? Did I get the whole roof cleaned up? Ah, god damn it. Hell yeah. Looks like we got our whole roof cleaned up. That's pretty good. Obviously, we're going to have to move multiple tiers. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky spot, honestly. Maybe, you know what? Let's go with that. Yeah, that should make cleaning up that area a lot easier. Gorgeous. Always the windows they add. Anywhere where you get a bunch of hard angles, honestly. Hey, but that's all good. Just keep on washing. Hey, what did that get? Ah! Did I get it? Oh, that's getting it. Just a little bit. Yeah. Hey, it even got it. Hell yeah. I'm not cleaning that from all the way down here. Yeah, no, that's going to be way too difficult. As you can see, like, it's not quite cleaning. So I've got to be, like, closer to it to actually get full water pressure value. There we go. That should be... Yeah, and then, like, that almost instantly cleans it. Get into the corners, get around the edges. We're doing just fine. Any of y'all gonna be picking up the new Power Wash Sim game? I don't know how many of you got into the first one. I remember, like, last year, I think I saw that a new Viscera cleanup detail game is coming out, but I haven't heard anything about it since then. And I'm real concerned, because I was really excited for another one of those games. Because I think it's been like almost 10 years since the first one of those came out. And I loved it so fucking much that I can't wait to see what a modern version of it would be like. But I'm concerned it'll be a long time before it comes out. And listen, games need as long as they need to come out good, but I do want some of them sooner. Haven't played it, but it's a chill watch. Yeah, it is chill to watch. It's just that classic experience of watching the progression unfold before you naturally. Thanks, Jane McGonigal. Nice. I think we might be able to just do a walk around on this. Oh yeah, that's working well. Oh, hell yeah. I thought I'd have to do this over on the other side as well. Where I got an actual ping of clean. There we go. Ah. There's something just downright delightful. Downright delightful about just watching it get cleaned up. Yeah, let me in. Let me in. Let me... God damn it. I don't want to climb the outside. I want to be on the inside. There's no really good angle for this. We'll jump down, see if this will work better, but... yeah, that's alright. Hey, there we go. Got the whole ass clean ping. We'll go around, I think, and take out all these outcroppings, because I think they'll be relatively easy. Then border out what we want to clean, really. Just cycle our way ever inward. Top to bottom, outside to inside. Just like a puzzle. I always do the edges on puzzles first. I don't know if that's like universally considered the actual easiest way to do it, but it tends to be sort of my approach to it. I find almost any time I try to do any internal parts of a puzzle first, even if like I'm real confident it's the right colors, I start getting to the end and realizing I've forced pieces that shouldn't fit together to go together, and I have to redo massive parts of the inside of the puzzle because it's actually all wrong, but it looked like it all fit together. That's the worst. That's the absolute worst. We're getting real close to this section being done. And then, I don't know, maybe my wrist will fall off. That do be the downside of chill games, is they also tend to have the same motion over and over again. And it is a small recipe for carpal tunnel. I'm not actually feeling it yet, but I'm just noticing now I'm just doing the same motion over and over again. And I know if I'm not careful, I'm mixing up something horrible for my wrist. Nice and clean. Hell yeah. Just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back. Yeah. I think we've almost got like this whole stair step thing in here done. Oh, Trilobite! I wondered why this place was called the Trilobite Hut. Now I get it. Like the Pokemon. Trilobite. Like the fossil Pokemon. I get it. Look, y'all, they made the fossil Pokemon real in real life. That's crazy. People are wild. What'll they make real next? Minecraft things like pickaxes? Man, I hope so. Could you imagine seeing a Minecraft pickaxe in real life? That'd be fucking crazy. It all makes sense now. All hail Dome. All hail the Dome. Alright, were you guys... Which fossil did all y'all pick when you were playing Pokemans? Because listen, for me, when I learned how to tell the difference, how was I not gonna take the one that turned into giant Scyther hands? Listen, I'm not saying anything's wrong with Snail Shell, dude, but can we acknowledge if you put the picture of, what is it, Kabuto in front of a kid and put it next to the picture of the other one, like, I feel like there's only one option for a kid to pick, actually, right? I'm not being crazy, I'm just by visual vibes, right? Praise the Helix. I thought Kabutops was cooler. You what are they? Is it Kabutops and what? It's your Pokemon Helix? What were you called? Ammonite. So what, Ammonite versus Kabuto? Listen, I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. Listen, I got nothing wrong with Ammonite. Just the fact that Ammonite has to be compared to Kabuto, I feel like was unfortunate for Ammonite. I feel like the comparison was unfortunate and predestined by how you got them, right? God, you think there was a moment where they were making that whole quest in Pokemon where they're like, you have to pick one or the other? And I realized their options were bipedal Scyther relic or snail? That it actually really wasn't a great choice of these two. Like, I don't know, it feels a little like they had put, like, for example, Charizard up against... What's a good one for comparing to, like, Ammonite's visuals? It'd be like putting Charizard up against... maybe, like, Goldeen? Like a fish that just evolves into fish? Or Charizard versus Rattata? You get a Pokemon that evolves into a bigger rat, or one that becomes a fucking dragon. What's your... You have to pick now which one you want. Absolutely wild. Fuck yeah, Seeking! I didn't even remember what Goldeen evolved, like the name of what it was. Are you a real Seeking fan, or are you just fucking with me? Is it a top percentage Rattata? V, you might be too deep into Pokemon. I'm gonna be honest. The fact that I bring up Rattata versus Charizard, and you're asking me for the percentage, you might be a bit too deep into the game. We're going off of visual vibes here. We're imagining a kid playing Pokemon. We're not putting Pokemon on the Excel spreadsheet. We're talking about how the fossil quests works, where all you get when you pick which fossil you're using is you can look up what the Pokemon look like. Helix versus Dome is the level of information you're getting between, what? Charmander and Rattata. Which fossil would you like? Would you like rat fossil or dragon fossil? Your choice. I absolutely am. Alright, what's the difference between a top percent Rattata and a top percent Charmander? You can tell me, V. I won't be angry. Core values are a strong determining... Oh, IV. Sorry, I literally looked at IV and read 4. IV values are a strong determining factor. It's Joey's Rattata. Wait, I get the reference? Wait, that's not a... Alright, I thought you were actually asking about the stats. Is there a joke about Rattata specifically where people are like, oh, you want a Rattata? And they're like, hey, yeah, I want a top percent Rattata. Is this some sort of joke I'm not Pokemon nerdy enough to get? Listen, I was the kid that captured every Abra I could because I thought Alakazam was the shit. Y'all saw me playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion. You guys saw how many fusions with fucking Alakazam I tried to make.
Nerd.
Hey, Rai, what a great time for you to join. Chat's trying to argue about Rattata being cooler than Charmander to me. As long as its stat line is correct. Did you play Pokemon Rai? Did you go with the Helix fossil or the Dome fossil? Yay! Clean. Rattata is my dog. It helped me kill the final gang. Y'all are crazy. No, what was my actual final group in Infinite Fusion when I played for you guys? I had a Alakazam that was fused with another Alakazam, and it was a shiny. I had the Mr. Mime fused with what? I fused Mr. Mime with something that made it like a horrible plant bug looking thing. It wasn't Pinsor, was it? No, I don't think it was Pinsor, but it was something. I had 2 Shed Ninja fusions so that they would be immune to all elements, right? I'm also getting shit-faced playing Deltarune. Hell yeah. Is Deltarune good shit-faced? Never played or watched anyone play Deltarune, so I don't know. I'm just waiting for the response that Deltarune should only be played shit-faced. I'm explaining a meme and the function of a fighting strategy. Oh no. He basically introduces you to the phone function. Alright, one second. I'm pretty sure that neither one was really good though. Like, they were both outclassed by Lapras, which you got for free earlier. Let's see, it's the top percentage Rattata. It's Joey's Rattata. He basically introduces you to a phone function in Gen 2 that never shuts up about his top percentage Rattata. Okay, got you. So it's an actual quote. Make this guy play Pokemon Gold or Silver. Also, there is the Fear Rattata. Which I'm also getting, let's see here, the Scizor and Shed Ninja. That was only weak to fire. I know we had 2 Shed Ninjas. I do remember specifically making 2. So we would have one that was only weak to fire and one that was like only weak to ice or fighting or something. That way we would technically not, we would always have something we could swap over to. We taught them both Toxic because that's how I play games. We had the Super Alakazam. We had the Mr. Mime with something. Oh yeah, and there was the Scizor that I think we did a fusion that gave it like rocket launchers or something. I was about to say, but no, now I remember there was also another really cool fusion we encountered, but it was when we were checking out, like, the roguelike tower that exists in the game, where you just get random Pokemon that you can change out as you try to progress to the tower. And I remember finding the one fusion, right? If you guys remember, that looked like, was it Orenstein? Or it looked either like Orenstein or like a goddamn Warhammer character. That was a funny one to encounter. You know, now that I think about it, I think the Mr. Mime was fused with one of the Pokemon that everybody wants to fuck. I think that was the bit. Was that Mr. Mime fusions always ended up horrifying, so we mixed it with... What's the one Pokemon that always, like, evolves female or something? Gardevoir? Was it a Mr. Mime Gardevoir, maybe? I remember towards the end, we also got a Miltank at one point. Wow. We are making some delightful progress on this stupid fucking house with its goddamn angular ass roof. There is a male-only split that's pre-Evo? Can be, though. Yay! It's really good and much funnier shit-faced. Alright, I'll keep that in mind if I ever decide to play Deltarune. That it's much funnier shit-faced. Ah! Damn it. Gardevoir is a 50-50 split between male and female. There is a male-only split that it's pre-Evo can be, though. Okay. I wonder, I should still have those vids, like those VODs saved, right? Because that was after I started saving VODs. I even remember making a Pokemon thumbnail. One sec, I could probably just go look up the last video and see what Mr. Mime fusion I had. Alright, I'll finish this little section and then maybe I'll go take a quick look. See how easy it would be to filter through for, my Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I think, though, that would be before I was streaming to YouTube. Okay, yeah, I definitely have some Infinite Fusions. This is called the Elite Four. I'm gonna click into this. Oh, wait, there was a Marowak Key fusion. Alright. Sorry, Did I do a Ditto Grimer fusion at some point? That's wild. That's fucking great. I'm sorry, I'm like at the beginning of the video and I think I was just looking at a bunch of different fusions. But it's not showing me like I'm not at my team yet. Alright, wait. Mr. Growth. I don't think it was Gardevoir. Right, we did have a Vaporvoir. because y'all were horrifying. And I think you guys made me combine Vaporeon and Gardevoir for the worst possible reasons. We had a Shed Clang. Did we only have one Shed? I thought we had two Shed Ninjas. Okay. Permer? Oh, wait, I don't see my Alakazam here, so maybe this wasn't my final team? Oh yeah, I think I'm leveling or doing some shit right now. One sec, we can jump ahead a little bit. Yeah, but Mr. Growth. Oh my god, right. It was the Mr. Mime with the tentacle guy evolution. You know, the plant thing that's like all of the vines? And Permer was right. Persian with Grimer. Jesus. Alright, wait. I think I'm setting up my team. Yeah, I see a Shed Ninja. Oh, wait. I fused, I think, Shed Ninja with Entei? I see. I fused my Shed Ninja with a fucking god Pokemon just for the fucking comedy of it. Yeah, Tangle Growth, Mr. Growth. That's what it was. So we had Shed T and Shed Clang were my two Shed Ninja fusions. We had the Houndaloose, which was the hound with the multi-headed dragon guy. We had our double Alakazam. We had Glazone, which was Glaceon fused with the machine thing. Mr. Growth. And our Alakazam? Wild. A wild fucking... Oh, right! The reason we made the Glazone was the fusion was just literally a fucking laser gun. Now I remember. Now I remember why that happened. Oh my god. Y'all crazy. Y'all were fucking cooking with some of the fusions you made me do. I'll acknowledge it. I'll acknowledge. Nah, Pokemon Ultimate Fusion has got to be one of the best, like, fan-made games I've seen, like, ever. Just the amount of care and energy that went into making everything in that game is so insane and amazing. Oh, and I'm now remembering, I let you guys pick my starter, right? Because when you start that game, you can pick 100% what your starter will be. And I was so angry with what you guys picked because it was completely useless for I think you guys made me start with an Eevee. Or was it an unknown? It was either an unknown or an Eevee. I don't remember. I just remember because it was normal type and because of their starting moves, they were so fucking useless for so long in that game. And I was so unreasonably angry at all of you for that. I think at one point y'all wanted me to start with no Pokemon at all. I just had to run out there with the starting Pokeballs that the professor gave me. And whatever I could catch first was my starter, and if I caught nothing, I had to start over. I'm glad I didn't do it that way. At a certain point, when are you just trying to make Nuzlocke harder, you know? Unknown sounds like something we would have made you pick. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was the Eevee. I think that's why I had so many different Eevee Lucian fusions by the end. Hey, does that mean we did the whole outer trim? Hell yeah. Yeah, we're fucking powering through this house. Oh my gosh. Soon there ain't gonna be nothing left to clean. Hey, Metal Hattie, how you doing? You missed it. We've been talking about Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Have you ever played that thing? If you have not, and you're at all interested in Pokemon, I highly recommend checking out Infinite Fusion. Greatest fan-made game I've ever played. How about how you've been, Metal? I feel like I haven't seen you in like a month or so. What have you been up to? I know you've been streaming. But I don't think I've caught any of your streams in the past month or so. How have you been? Been meaning to. Alright, if you've been meaning to, 100%. I've streamed it before. It's fucking brilliant. And I'm just gonna 100%, whatever pressure has been applying to you, add my full-throated support to that pressure. Be aware, though, it's kind of hard. Because now you have to know every potential fusion's typing in order to be able to actually counter moves. Because not all fusions come out with as clean of typing as you might be expecting. I did my annual group VTuber charity event in October. Right. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to be a part of that really at all. October, I ended up getting a job as a scare actor at Knott's Berry Farm. So I was every evening putting on a mask and costume and scaring people in a maze. How'd the event go? Yeah, a few people wanted to do some collab stuff in October, but unfortunately I was pretty well booked for IRL stuff. October seems to be a big time for a lot of streamers. The spooky month be exciting. Very well. We raised a good bit, over 4,000 for St. Jude's. Hell yeah. Wash, 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 brushing everywhere. There we go. We're making amazing progress. Hey, Azzy, how you doing? I feel like I haven't chatted with you in a little bit. How's your week been, Azzy? Got any weekend plans coming up on you? You ever played Pokemon Clover? I have not. For real, I don't know if that's a real Pokemon game or if that's another fan game, but for real Pokemon games, I played the very first Pokemon game. I don't remember which one of the colors it would have been, but I played like one of the OG Pokemon game on the Pokemon themed, like the Pikachu themed Playboy. Then the next one I played, I think, was on the DS. I had one on the DS, and I remember one of the Pokemon was like a giant seal or walrus or something that had like an ice attack. And then I didn't play any more Pokemon games until I played Pokemon Infinite Fusion. So it was basically just those two, like the very first one, and then one of the ones for the dual screen, and that was it. Shit has happened, but as for plans, it's the same as the same thing I do every week. Get my work done Saturday, then relax, because I don't have to work till Monday. Fucking get it, Azzy. Whale Lord? Yes. The giant seal. Whale Lord, Azzy. 100%. The big seal or walrus I was talking about was Whale Lord. I'm glad you were able to tell the exact Pokemon by the description of a big seal or walrus. Was it Spheal? Does Spheal evolve into a big ice walrus? It's like a big ice walrus with like white mustache going on, I think. He's like a blue walrus, but he's got a white crazy fucking hair and mustache. Almost got like Einstein vibes to him. Probably Walrein, yeah, but Spheal is cuter. Okay. And it's one big shit post, but it's stupidly well produced. It's a shit post, but it also has lovingly made game. That's right. Alright, what is the shit post about Pokemon Clover? Sell me on it. Sell me on it, Metal Hattie. I'm ready to be convinced. Alright, smartass, you said dual screen, and apart from Dewgong, there literally wasn't a seal Pokemon back there that fits your description. I'm sorry, it's just very funny to hear the description of it. It was a big walrus? Whale Lord. I just imagined it with 100% confidence was probably the main issue. I just imagined you proudly dropping the dead bird you found on my porch. Whale Lord. Thanks. You fucking got it. Oh, man. Gotta love quality shit post from 4chan. Okay, I mean, you can catch Spheal in all the DS games. Some are harder to get than others, but you can get it. Okay. It wasn't even the main Pokemon. It was just one that I remember as a kid, because when I was fighting the, like, Final Four, it's like Ice Ball attack that gets stronger every time you used it. Fucking carried me through one of the fights. This is when I was an idiot kid, you know, when my build had nothing to do with any level of planning. It was just all Pokemon only had attack moves. Wait, I feel like there was also the skull ball with the two horns? It looks like a soccer ball, but made out of skeleton? I think it was an iron or a steel type or whatever it was. What game is that dude from? Glail? Maybe. What game is that dude from? And was it on the DS? Because if he was, I think that was the last Pokemon game I played. Gen 3 out of 4. Hell yeah. God, I hope we're getting close. I feel like I've been on this house for the total time I've been on all the other levels up to this point. Oh, my favorite part of Infinite Fusion is that you don't have to actually trade Pokemons that require to be traded to evolve. Worst fucking choice in Pokemon. Don't tell me I'm not allowed to have an Alakazam because no one's willing to trade with me. I told you guys about the first time I pulled off making an Alakazam, right? The kid then ran off after the trade completed, stealing my Alakazam. I was angry for fucking days. I was also really pissed because he didn't even take the connector cable out. He literally yanked and ran with my connector cable and my Alakazam. I was livid for days. I think I didn't keep playing that Pokemon game. That bastard. I know, right? The one big water Pokemon. Oh god, let's hear. Let's see. Gen 3 is catchable in Diamond and Pearl, though not naturally in Black and White. The only big water Pokemon I can even think of from DS era that I remember are Lapras, Kyogre, Wailord, and Gyarados. Yeah, remember, it was an ice type, not a water type. Well, it might have also been a water type. The big thing was it was an ice type, which was bonkers because I had only played first gen before that point, so I didn't realize. So I don't think ice was a type until I played that game. And that's not to say, I don't know if it was the game where ice was introduced at, but it was the first one of the Pokemon games I played where ice was introduced. Ice wasn't in first gen, right? What was it? I think Ice, Steel, and Fairy were later editions, right? Like, even though they had Clefairy in first gen, was Fairy type in first gen? Was that added later? And I'm trying to remember what idiot kid thought of the game right now, and his memories are not so good at that. Let's see, the only big water... let's see, Clover has a weird reputation wherever the people that don't like 4chan humor, but they all agree it's objectively a well-made fan game. Hell yeah. Someone tried to make my golden Pikachu Pokemon card when I was like 7. That was the first time I drop-kicked someone. Toss him into the fire. You threw my dog in the fire. Nah, Dark Steel, and way later was Fairy. Okay. Steel was made in Gen 2. Okay. Ice was a type in Gen 1, but it was only for dual types. Huh. That is a valid crash out. Yeah. Fairy was Gen 5. Okay, so Reg Ice, Mamoswine, and the one Snowball Cat thing, and literally nothing else I can think of. Lol. Dark and Steel in Gen 2, Fairy in Gen 5. It sounds like I played Gen 1, Gen 4, and then Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I think that might be my experience of Pokemon. Oh, wait, and the Nintendo 64 Pokemon Coliseum. I love the shit out of that game. Because your Pokemon Rangers was goated, so was their Mystery Dungeon game. I have definitely never heard of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but that sounds fucking great. My fucking guy. Good old N64. I love playing Pokemon Snap on that. Was Rangers the one on the DS where you had to use touchscreen so much that people fucked them up? That would make sense. Was the dual screen the one that had games where you were supposed to blow on the thing? I feel like I'm remembering my cousin playing a game on the dual screen where it was like one of the Mario Kart games, and there was a fight mode where people had to pop each other's bubbles or balloons, and to refill your balloons after someone popped them, you had to like blow on the DS or something. I have no idea. It was one where you had to use a stylus to draw circles around the Pokemon to catch them. Damn. There was a time when game designers, especially for like consoles, were really trying to invent a new way to play video games. Because like now I'm remembering like when there was a bunch of different consoles that were coming out with like cameras on them to do like motion capture, that eventually resulted in the Kinect being made, and then Xbox acknowledging that nobody wanted to play with the fucking Kinect. Oh my god. Hell, Wii doesn't even do like... Wii doesn't do Wii Stick stuff anymore, do they? Because the only thing I know about Wii anymore are the are like their portable consoles. The Kinect was fucking peak. What do you mean? What Kinect game did you enjoy, Azzy? Tell me the Kinect game you liked for being a Kinect game. There was one game that I wanted to get because of the Kinect. And it was a game that, during its development cycle, decided to drop the Kinect as the way you interacted with it. For those who are unaware, there is a game in the Xbox fucking catalog called Rise. That was like this Roman soldier game. And it's famous for not being very good, for its mechanics being too simplistic and its story not being very well made. And what a lot of people forget about Rise is that its first showcase was at one of like the game conventions, and it was when they were announcing everything to do with the Kinect. And the reason the mechanics on the game are so simple is because the game originally was designed to be a Kinect game. So its only real influences were going to be lunge, strike, kick, headbutt. Basically very, very distinct movements that you could do with your hands or body. But then they decided it was too hard, and so they made it for the controller, but they kept their very basic moveset. And it made for an absolutely shit game. At least in my opinion. That was too simplistic for what it was doing. The motion thing kind of died despite how hard that it had been being pushed. Because it just wasn't good. It just wasn't that good. I maintain my opinion that everything should have been going more in the direction of AR instead of VR. I blame VR. And really, VR was the descendant of the motion capture games. I think altered reality games are so much cooler and better integrated than virtual reality games are. Pretty much all the sports games were generally fun, actually made me like sports games. Just Dance bar games, Connect Adventures, fucking Connectimals. Don't you disrespect my boy. I'm sorry for disrespecting your boy Connectimals. Azzy. I'm starting to get more sad. There hasn't been anything dynamic since the bathroom. I was really, really rooting for, like, dynamic fucking maps. I got really hyped by it, by the bathroom. What is that? Oh. 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 What? Well, that's an interesting device. I don't actually have a good mental image of how this thing is working right now, but I'm fucking... I guess I'm here for it. Ah! God damn, spraying down a billboard. Is this an electric billboard? Oh, wait, will it start doing shit once it's clean? Or is this side just empty? Well, the individual panel isn't doing anything, so I have a bad feeling this fucking billboard won't do anything. Connectimals is what put the spark in my eye of how much I love cats. Big cat is still cat. Oh no. So we have Connectimals to blame, is what you're telling me, Azzy. More reasons to hate the Connect. Ah! Ah! I fell. Also, re-ads. They rebooted Connect Sports in like 2016 or something. Really? Rebooted? Like, I have to have this top being cleaned, right? I don't know, is there some way for me to move this rising thing over to the other side? 'Cause I can't seem to pick it up. It's like it'll hook me up here, but I want to go around to the other side. Like, I need this over on this side now, but I don't know how to... grab it? Right? Because if I step on it, it puts me, like, on it, you know? Ah, well, it looks like we got the top beam anyway, so we're fine, but... Ow! A dog! Is this a peacock? Oh my god! Look how cool this peacock is. Is that a raccoon? Oh my god. Look at all these fun and cool characters. Power Falls. Alright, what is this? Spungly Suds East Pumpton, Power Falls, Muckingham, Detergento, Fumer Roll, Buckton, Lubry City, Washingham, Sparkleton? What the fuck? Year. Town of the year? What the fuck? Jeff Jefferson's. Alright, so this is a poster for Town of the Year? What the fuck? Oh, hey, Azzy, look, we got a cat. Said you like cats, right? Wait. Are you a frog? What are you? I can't tell what you are. Are you a newt? Are you a frog? You a little lizard? I can't tell. What are you? Okay, we got a Benunny, we got a goat. Is that a duck? I think we got a duck. Horse. And this thing. What is this thing? Lizard. 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 A sign's clean. T is clean. Are we totally good all up on like the sign proper? I think so. What the fuck is Town of the Year? And will it relate to whatever horrifying event is going to happen at Equinox in this game? I don't know, but I sure hope it does. I sure hope Town of the Year causes some horrifying thing to happen. That's my only wish. There we go, nice and clean. There we go. Oh, that reminds me. I got progress on the Sin Head. Want to see? Fucking hit me with it, Ryan. Fucking course I do. You actually reminded me of so much shit I want to watch old Connect videos now. Listen, if you can find the original Rise teaser thing that showed it off as a Connect game, I would appreciate you sharing that so much. Because that's a little bit of gaming history that so many people don't even fucking remember. And it was the one thing about that game I was so excited for, I was so upset about, what ultimately convinced me Connect was never going to be a thing. But so few people fucking remember it. As being one of like the big flagship games that was supposed to sell the Connect. It's spelled with a Y, I think? You don't even remember Rise? God damn it. A big Connect fan doesn't even remember Rise. My life be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. No one remembers their gaming history. It's not even ancient history, it's relatively modern history. You probably look up Roman sword game. Rise. That'll probably capture enough of the details. Yeah, I never saw this. This game is still around. Yes, it was released a few years after the Connect, when it was supposed to be the flagship game, and during development, they removed all of the Connect features from it. So it just became a normal controller fighting game. But with the simplified moveset you would have needed for a Connect game. It was the worst of all worlds. God, I need to get up there. I need this fucking thing over on the other side, but I don't know if I can move it. Open. Nice. Nice and clean. Alright, so how do I clean all of this without use of the rising seat thingy? I just gotta take it real slow, maybe? I could buy another extension, give myself more range. Ah! Fuck. Well, that was unfortunate. It's sent now how to resend because I accidentally caught myself in the pick. Alright, 1 second. 1 second. The 4chan Pokemon game. Thank you, Metal Hattie. For art. Oh, shit! Oh. That's adorable. I can't wait to see that. What's happening, general chat? What are you guys doing? I just found out what a widget is. Oh no, sour. Oh no. I guess we're gonna wash just the whole underside? Hell yeah. Look at that muck get sprayed away. How do you even get this much dirt on the underside of a fucking billboard? I'm gonna need some explanations at some point in this game how some of this shit got as dirty as it got. Yeah, this is horrible. I don't like that this way. Alright, we're gonna take a quick look at the store. We're gonna see if I can get a better extension for this, like a real long range one. Oh, we could. Let's hear how much we got. We got 1,200. So we could go up 1 in our strength, but that wouldn't get us the range. So we're gonna go for a range extender. Oh. Yeah, who needs ladders? Oh, that was a smart choice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm washing here. Always get the range extension, y'all. So much easier to use than a ladder. I do wish they didn't, like, rotate your character when you move side to side with the camera. Hey, that's one panel down. Nice. Yeah, should I just focus all the panels and do the edging later? I don't know, I feel like anytime you're trying to do a spray job like this, you should really start by edging and then finish off at the end, you know? Feels like finishing up the big parts first and then edging is just asking for problems. I'm speed running since Comic-Con is in 2 weeks. Ooh! But I had to redo and reassess because I accidentally caught myself with a pick. Okay. Maybe it's that pickup option when you get to the top of the sign? Is there a pickup option at the top of the sign? There's a pickup. Oh. Oh! There was. Huh. Thank you. I didn't see that at all. In my defense, I feel like it wasn't very clear. I feel like that could have been a clearer thing. I feel like that is not 100% my fault. I feel like that is only 30% my fault, and 70% the game's fault. Yeah, just stand perfectly in the middle at the top of the sign, where the equipment isn't, in order to pick it up to move it somewhere else. But now I have a good idea that they just set the pickup point to be in the middle of the object's, like, hitbox, and the hitbox actually encompasses the whole sign no matter what side it's on. I want to play VR so badly. Do you own a VR headset? Is that the problem? I mean, VR do exist to a degree that the Kinect doesn't. Essentially, it is significantly easier to play a VR game right now than it is to play a Kinect game. At least on a whim. I imagine anybody who's still, like, got their Kinect and whatever could probably grab a disc off their shelf, plug it into their old Xbox, and play it relatively easily. Unless it's an online game, because they might have support canceled at this point. Remember to save games. Wow! VR is fun. Stay away from VR chat. I have been flashed by avatars, and I don't know. I've been to VR chat like 3 times in total, I think. And one of them is in a way was a very, very cool event because it was actually me going to Flan's birthday. So that was nice. It was nice being able to go to that. You know, as long as you're going to a thing that you know what it is, VR chat's fine. If you go in blind, you're in trouble. Spray. I don't have the headset. Understandable. Hello. Hi, son. Well, new one just dropped like yesterday or something. Ah. then if one day I'm invited to a thing in it, I will get it that day and no time sooner. Who was it? It was Junie that I think introduced me to a lot of the more fucked up parts of VR chat. Like, I had never heard of, in context of VR chat, a mute before she fucking explained it to me one day. People are weird. People are very, very weird. Especially on VR chat. Well, it's late, so I need to be headed off. It do be late, Azzy. Take care of yourself. And thank you for coming in and saying hi. I know I'm generally a little late for you, so I appreciate any time you're able to stop by. How we doing on time? We've got like 10 minutes before I'm probably going to cut it, so we can definitely do a little more work. This ladder looks like it's going to be annoying as shit, though. Yeah, because we're going to have to like clean it from the top and the bottom. We don't even get really great access from the top. You know, this ladder going to be annoying as hell. We'll give it a run. Maybe we just gotta cross the percent threshold and not actually think of trying to get it 100%, you know? Because there's a point where items will just be counted as 100%, even if they're not really, like, even if there's speckles and stuff on it. There's a little bit of rounding that this game does. Maybe that'll be the goal with the ladder, is just get enough of the major pieces done. Here we go. There's definitely a big part of it right there. Board side ladder. Seems to be well over halfway done at least, but... Alright, I think we've got the underside of every step. What can we do? If I take off my extender, I should be able to use it on each step? Yeah. And what, we just go up and wiggle on each step? Oh my god. Alright, wait. I think that was the ladder part technically done. Hey, alright, that got it. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Ooh, a little wiggle. We'll slowly get these ladders done. We'll just work down like this, I think, and then at the bottom we'll be able to do the spray up. Basically do what we did before, but in reverse order. There we go. Alright, I think that's all that. Fuck yeah! Clean as a whistle. Alright, we can head to the bottom, we can put our extender back on. spray down these lights. We might have to rely on one of the ladders to really get these lights, because they're going to have a few... Ooh, wait. Alright, one of them we seem to have taken out. Maybe we just approach both of these from both sides. We'll be able to get just enough to take them. Not quite. Oh, alright, yeah, no, we're gonna grab this ladder, try to get right up to them. And see if we can get a good sight line on this. Ah, yeah, it's definitely gonna be around the back of them. Yeah, there's all that schmutz. Hey, and I think we're fully clean there then. Handrail is going to be very annoying to get. Look up Connectimals, all of you. You literally had pet big cats, and it was so adorable and amazing because you got to play with them. Alright, understood. Also, you don't want to know what DPS stands for in VR chat? I learned the hard way. So if you ever get Beat Saber, always mod it, or mode it so it makes it so much more fun with custom level. Mod, okay, yeah. I would imagine so. I got really big into, what, Guitar Hero 3 when that one came out? But I've got this, like, low mobility fucking pinky finger, so I played it only on easy mode, so I wouldn't have to deal with the extra keys. But I ended up gold starring, like, every song in that game in easy mode to make myself feel like I wasn't a fuck up. And I remember at one point being annoyed with the game because, like, god damn it, I wish I could do just these 3 keys, but, like, the hard mode speeds, you know? Just unfortunate for little baby Eric. That wasn't how the game was designed. Stop trying to make me use my pinky as a major key input. I don't like it. I don't like it. I actually looked something up the other day because I ran into a video that was talking about proper finger positioning for when writing. And I've learned I have technically not the most proper form of grip. I have something that's apparently called the quadruped. Got the quad grip. Basically, I grip the pen or pencil between my pointer and thumb, then I apply additional pressure with my middle finger, and it rests on my ring finger. But apparently the normal, like, tripod grip has you gripping between your pointer and thumb, and then it rests on your middle finger. And what I've learned, though, by looking it up, is apparently you can't really get away with the quadruped grip if you're using something like a fountain pen. But that it works perfectly well for, like, normal modern pens and pencils. So what it seems like is a lot of, like, writing technique, you know, came around during the first, you know, obviously early pens, which were a lot of your fountain or drip pens. And so it was all about developing people up to the tripod. But, like, actually, if you take someone with zero writing education and you ask them to write, the most comfortable position people go for is the fist grip. Just like, you know, just a solid grip around the pencil. But that it's very hard to write like that for prolonged periods of time. So, like, there's a bunch of different grips people use when writing that you can look at. Most of them are about developing to the tripod grip. But technically, we don't need the tripod grip anymore to be the only grip, since we don't use fountain pens or any type of writing implement that has to remain perfectly vertical in order to write. Though there are questions about whether the, like, prominence of touchscreens and styluses are going to end up changing, like, that perspective on proper writing position. Just heads up, modded Beat Saber people do not know what difficulty is, filtered a normal level, and they're coming at me 500 miles per hour just to turn a lost mode on. So I have a feeling of playing them levels. God damn. I mean, that tends to be, like, really well-built fan stuff is always fucking power creeped. It's just the unfortunate truth that anyone that loves a game enough to really get in there and mod it is good enough at the game that they want it to be harder. Which is just unfortunate most of the time. But understandable. Fan-made products almost always suffer from power creep and feature creep to such a ridiculous extent, and it's always amazing. Listen, if you're modding it and making it yourself as a fan, go crazy with the features. Feature creep that shit to death. You deserve it. Grip it and stab. Get it. I'm gonna be so for real. I didn't even know there was different grips. Never got taught them. Just used... Wait, you write with the fist style? No, hold on, Rye. You don't actually write papers with a fist grip, do you? Like, does your wrist feel like it's about to fall off after you write like a paper? Or I guess, have you never written a paper by hand? I just realized that could also be an option. Have you only ever typed papers? I'm sorry, I just expect teachers to force everyone to write 1 or 2 papers by hand in class. Less of a, you know, I can't believe you've never written a paper, more so, I can't believe you've never had a teacher make you write a paper, you know? Let's see here. I feel like a cement mixer. It click every time I move. Yeah, you might want to look up some better pencil grips then. Like, I'm not gonna say you gotta go all the way to one grip or another, but if you're really gonna be writing anything for a prolonged period of time, I just recommend looking up some more advanced grips. Figure out whichever one is easiest for you to transition into, but just save yourself from destroying your hand. Or, you know, just never write anything for a prolonged period of time. That's also technically an option. Not really writing anymore. Yeah, like I said, that's also an option. Hey, ladder done. What do we got left? 99%. Billboard mounting block. It looks like platform frame. Obviously, we got this beam. Oh. Alright, what do we got? It said mounting board, so I imagine it's one of these. Alright, now what do we got? Something here? Okay, this is a new feature that I am a fan of in this game. actually targeting what I need to be spraying. Yay! We got it! And it's just in time. I'm technically 1 minute over, but still, we got it. There he goes. Might run a few levels of Beat Saber before I go to sleep. Hey, have some fun, my dude. No, 3 a.m.? No, go to bed now, Rye. Do some levels in the morning, please. Please, I'm begging you. Don't stay up past 3 a.m. just to play Beat Saber. But, y'all, for now, I want to wish you all a good evening, good night, good rest of your fucking weekends. Go out there, have fun, take care of yourselves. Look up writing grip styles, because it's actually very interesting. And most importantly, remember, I love you all. That's where we're going to be calling it for today. Tomorrow, we'll get back into probably doing some achievement hunting again. Maybe some more power washing. We'll have to see. But for now, I love you all. I'll see you all as soon as possible. Let's see if there's anyone cool to send you guys off to. Lethal? I haven't rated her, it feels like, in a fucking year. I'll send you guys off to everyone's favorite vampire Batgirl. So here is our raid target. Here is our raid message. And I'll see you all there. Take care, have fun, and let's get ready to raid in 5, 4, 3, 2,